All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good crypto news stuff for you today. And interestingly, we're going to do things backwards this time around. And we're going to start with the $11 billion overnight pump of cryptocurrency and why this is somewhat interesting this time around. And we've certainly seen these in the past, but we had a big pump about 8 or 9 days ago, and it didn't really decrease as per the usual. And I usually say, well, a few days after one of those whale pumps that are sort of straight up and down, we end up seeing the same thing going down the other a few days later with the whale selling off. But they didn't this time around, and now we have yet another pump. So this could be a sign of a bear run, but again, we have seen this in the past with two pumps going up, and then later it goes back down. So nothing too exciting just yet, but it is kind of a little glimmer of hope for a bullish run as it's been quite long indeed. In fact, we're in the longest bear market of crypto to date, unless you count just now, I suppose. So the last one was like 2013, 2014, the longest pump, or 2014-15. It was like 400 some days, and we passed that on, I think, February 1st or 2nd. So we're now about a couple weeks longer than that. So you can see here, we have quite a bit of gains today. Bitcoin up about 8%, and Ethereum is up quite a bit as well, at just about 14.5% there. And EOS way up by 23% as well. Everybody knows EOS, my favorite coin of all time. And even Bitcoin Cash up by 20% as well. So the winner of the day here, Wax at 31%, and EOS not too far from being the winner of the day as well. Just a few red, and those are mostly just a couple stable coins and then just some random, so not too big of a deal. And then even if you go to the next 100, big gains there on the altcoins and the lower market cap altcoins as well. So, moving on to news, Bitmain unveils its new 7 nanometer ASIC chip after a dismal 2018. The company announced the news in a blog post published on Monday. According to the statement, the new BM1397 chip offers faster and cheaper cryptocurrency mining, and I'm sure it's going to be like $9,000. So the Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing company TSMC, Bitmain's chip supplying contractor, manufactured the chip using the former 7 nanometer process. Bitmain says its new class of 7 nanometer chips is designed for cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, because what else would it be for, I suppose? That use of the SHA-256. So the new BM1397 chip requires lower power. It can offer an energy consumption to computing ratio as low as 30 joules per terahash. It's a 28.6% improvement in power efficiency in comparison with Bitmain's previous 7 nanometer chip, the BM1391. So the new Antminer that'll probably be coming out, and I don't know what that is. I don't think anybody knows what that is. They haven't even announced the new one, but the current one is the S15, and it's like 25 terahash. I'm just somewhere around there. And the interesting thing about Bitmain is that they do produce the most efficient ASICs. And I know a lot of people don't like ASICs, but Bitcoin sort of needs ASICs at this point, because if you took them away, that'd be the security would be probably pretty bad, and then you could just use NiceHash to 51% attack it. So let's not go there. But they do use the lowest power. There are more powerful ASICs out there, but they use some of them wildly use like 4,000 watts for like the 50 terahash ones, and that's just incredibly inefficient. And so you actually make more with the Bitmain ones at a lower terahash than you do with the other ones. So this new chip will probably be put into some more like the S17 miner whenever it comes along. I just guessed that, whatever it's going to be. And it'll probably be relatively the same speed, maybe like 30 terahash, but again, it'll probably be the same amount of wattage as like the S15, so it'll mean it's just a lot more efficient. So that should be coming along sometime soon, but they'll probably be mining on it for months and months on end before they actually sell it, all their used gear to us, like they do with pretty much every ASIC. So yay, used ASICs, all right. Moving on to the next one. Ethereum revised with a 10% daily growth, and I'd say it's a little bit more than that by now. So Ethereum has shown signs of recovery with a recent short-term rally adding more than 10% overnight. And the reason for the rally is unclear, but it extends the move above $120, but hasn't quite hit that 150 just yet. Additionally, the Constantinople hard fork arriving in 10 days may be adding to the expectations of a rally, at least in the coming 2 weeks. However, some see the increased volatility as more likely bearish, leading to new selling. So that's really all that we're going to get into in this one. It does go into some more percentages and numbers and such, but we can see Ethereum has pumped quite disproportionately to a lot of the coins. Now, there are some that have pumped a little bit more. And with the Constantinople hard fork coming up, there's going to be a lot of new features of Ethereum. And, of course, the block reward is going to go from 3 to 2. So people are probably trying to buy into Ethereum right now because they know that their GPUs are actually going to be making less on it as soon as it comes through, at the end of the month, I believe. So usually after a hard fork, so the price of something goes up. Just not always the case, but people are probably hype buying into Ethereum right now in order to cash out when the fork comes, or when the upgrade comes along, the hard fork comes along, and the block reward gets reduced. Might as well be holding on to it as opposed to be mining it. ProgPow may be coming. That's sort of an interesting thing for Ethereum, where ProgPow will essentially brick ASICs. FPGAs may still be able to just, a bit stream for an FPGA for ProgPow will still probably enable FPGAs to change the algorithm every, what's supposed to be like 20 or 25 blocks. But that should brick ASICs as far as we know, and that will allow GPUs to be much more profitable. However, with the reward going from 3 Ethereum to 2, it might just actually level back out to right now. So who knows how that's going to work out. But again, I don't think that's going to be anytime soon. So people fudding all over that JPM coin. So JPM coin is not an irony. It's a joke. No, it's not a joke. It's actually going to be real. So Jamie Dimon is on record as ridiculing cryptocurrency for a number of years, and one of the more oft-quoted assertions is that if you're stupid enough to buy it, you'll pay the price someday. Behind all that noise, the bank had developed Quorum, a blockchain-backed platform for banks to use cross-border and interbank money transfers, but JPM Morgan's reputation is so toxic that it considered spinning the platform off as its own entity, with rival banks reluctant to use it. So, news that Jamie Dimon-led behemoth has decided to create a cryptocurrency pegged 1-to-1 with the US dollar, with their US dollar, mind you, because it's not for the people like us. It's not like True USD or Tether or anything like that that you can just buy. It's their dollar, which nobody's going to be able to audit or anything like that. So, yeah, that sounds fun. So the bank's rationale makes sense, except that it doesn't. So JPM coin is a digital coin designed to make instantaneous payments using blockchain technology. But why would you use blockchain if it's not a public ledger? It just makes no sense. Why just pretend that you received? At that point, you're just pretending that you received the money instantly, as opposed. It just doesn't make sense. Just digitally send the money, and then just forget the whole Swift payment system, and just use a database, and just make it instantaneous, and get rid of this 70s technology. How we have to wait 6-7 days for a bank transfer to go through. Why do we even need to do that when all it is here's a bank transfer? Here's what it is. A teller goes, how much would you like to transfer, sir? And you're like, $100 please to this bank account in another country. She goes like this, or he, 100, and this is the enter key. Boom, done. That's it. But why it takes 7 days after that point? Nobody knows, because it's 70s technology. So GPM is going to make basically a stable coin with only their money, mind you, not your money, not your 1-to-1 dollar ratio, their money, JP Morgan's money. And then send it instantaneously. But why use blockchain if it's not even a public ledger? You're just essentially slowing it down, or what is it blockchain at that point? It's so confusing. So JP Morgan's Umar Farouk appears to have made himself aware of the purpose of cryptocurrencies, allowing parties to transfer money to each other. Wow, just like banks should be doing, and getting rid of that 70s technology. But it misses another significant property of using blockchain technology to fuel money transfers: decentralization. The underlying basis of the technology consisted of a ledger that could be appended but never retroactively modified. The lack of central control over the system and immutability of the ledger from the core characteristics of this technology, which are accurately characterized by Byzantine fault-tolerant systems. So the initial crypto response was understandably cynical, with Whale Panda kicking things off. If you listen very closely, you'll hear all the Ripple holders now scream in agony. I do, Whale Panda. Actually, I do. Because Ripple has been around for a really long time, just desperately trying to get banks to use it. And not many people do, if any. And now JP Morgan comes along and they're like, we're going to do $6 trillion transfers a day, basically, with this thing. There's also the matter of trust in JP Morgan's business practices, which is real fun here. Take a seat on the bearskin rug in front of the fireplace and listen to my story. $4.5 billion to settle a case where it alleged to have misinterpreted mortgage bonds sold to a number of pension funds and other investors. Oops! This came after a $5.3 billion fine for the mortgage loan servicing and foreclosure abuses in 2012. We're sorry. Moving on. Over $900 million to settle investigation into the London whale scandal. Sorry. $80 million for defrauding its own credit card customers, charging them over $390 million, which it was forced to refund for identity protection services that it just didn't provide. It just didn't even provide them. We're sorry. $410 million for manipulating California's electricity market. Oops. Oh, JP Morgan. A whopping $13 billion for misinterpreting the mortgage-backed securities it sold when it acquired the failed Bear Stearns and Washington Mutual MBS portfolios at the height of the financial crisis. Uh-oh, we made a mistake again. Just charge us a small fine and we won't do it again. So this is basically equivalent to like you just going out and buying a Lambo, and every day that you go to work, you're just like, screw all these people. I'm putting the pedal to the metal. Who cares about anybody's lives around me? Who cares about speeding laws? Who cares about laws in general? I'm just going to straight punch this thing, go $2.10 an hour, that's 210 miles an hour, down the highway to my job. I made it there in 5 minutes every day. And a police car pulls you over on a daily basis. They flip the lights, and boy, that police car really has to work to catch you. But you pull over, right? And they're like, oh, you're at it again, MrSotko. You're driving your Lambo 210 miles an hour while everybody else is going 65 miles an hour. Here's your $200 ticket. But the funny thing is that I'm a millionaire or a billionaire, and $200 to me, I just go here and I just give the cop $200 and I leave. It doesn't mean anything. Even these billions of dollars in fines, it just means nothing to them. They transfer $6 trillion a day, so it just doesn't mean anything. It's like somebody coming up to you, giving a dollar to mow your lawn. What's a dollar? You know, it's getting in trouble and paying a $10 fine for something that should probably take your license and put you in prison. But oh well, right? So anyway, the article continues to go on and bash it, but I think I bashed it just enough, other than the fact that Brad Garlinghouse is very angry at and says that they missed a point. But you know what, Brad Garlinghouse, I think you guys missed a point too. Because while Ripple is, I guess, kind of a cryptocurrency, kind of, with blockchain, kind of, I guess, let's just go with that. But again, it's not a crypto. You don't mine it. They just make it out of thin air. They're like, look, we made more. And you're like, wow, great. So you just basically made money. You just basically just printed money. Isn't that kind of like the government, how the government just kind of prints money, and the Federal Reserve and central banks just make money out of nowhere? How the government is like, oh, we got to owe trillions of dollars to these central banks. And they're like, we're never going to be able to pay it back. And the central bank's like, we know you're never going to be able to pay it back. Do you want another $1 trillion? And the government's like, yeah, well, what a great system. All we got to do is keep paying you back basically bits of money. And then you're just going to keep printing it. And you know that we'll never be able to print you because the math, look at the math. So banking, in case you guys just maybe didn't know how fiat banking works, we used to have commodity money, which was actually backed by silver. You could take your dollar and get a little silver coin, and it was pure silver, worth approximately the $1. So it was like $1 was worth this much silver. So silver was this $1, and you could do that. But the problem was that there was a liquidity problem. What if everybody in America was just like, hey, let's go get our gold and silver? Would there be enough gold and silver to back that money? And the answer was no. No, there wasn't. So that was a problem, right? Because how can you have all this money if you don't have all this silver and gold? That's a big problem. So then the government's like, well, we're just going to magically make all this gold and silver disappear, and then you'll have fiat money, and it's backed by nothing. But you can trust it because the government will take it. So, in another way to put it too, is that let's say I'm the only banker in the world and there is no paper money in the world. Well, it's technically like cotton, but let's just say paper. There is no paper money in the world. It just doesn't exist, right? And I'm the very first banker. And there's a line of people waiting to get loans, and a guy comes in. The first guy comes in. He says, "You know what? I need $100 loan to start a business." So I go, "Here is your $100 bill, but I need $10 at the end of the year extra. So I need $110 back at the end of the year. That's your loan." And he says, "Not a problem with my business. I'm going to make way more than that." And I go, "Sure you are, buddy." And he leaves. Right. The problem is that he owes me $10 more, but $10 doesn't exist, right? Because as I just said, I created the first $100 bill, the very first one. No other $100 bill exists in the world. So how is he going to get $10? It's a really good question. He's going to have to come back and get another loan, and I'm going to have to make that $10, which is going to have a $1 surcharge on top of that. And the next person comes in, it's a woman, and she says, "I need $100 to start my quilting business," or something like that. So I give her $100. You owe me another 10, and her business fails. And then other businesses thrive, and that allows other people to pay me back. But again, in the end, everybody owes more money back to me, that I literally have to print more money for them to pay me back that printed money. That's the world you live in. Moving on. Coinbase supported Bitcoin debit card to shut down operations in April. I'm sorry, Seth Estrada. I'm so sorry, Seth Estrada. So Seth Estrada sometimes comes into my crypto podcast weekly, which we didn't do last week, and we may not do this week either. I'm not sure. We didn't work out a schedule. Apparently Fridays didn't really work for most of us. So we kind of need to work on a new schedule for that. And once in a while, Seth Estrada comes in, and I started talking about crypto debit cards. I'm like, well, the world needs a lot more crypto debit cards because people love debit cards. I can go on Amazon, pull out my wallet, buy something, have it in my house with my debit card, right? But with Bitcoin, I'd have to go on into an exchange, buy Bitcoin, get a wallet, put it in the wallet, then send that Bitcoin to Amazon. And that's not too hard for me or the likes of all of you. But somebody new to crypto, you'd have to learn what crypto is, what a crypto wallet is, how to buy crypto, then wait for the bank transfer to go onto the exchange before the money's on the exchange, before you can buy the crypto, then buy the crypto, then from the exchange send it to your wallet, then from your wallet send it to Amazon, and I feel like I'm going to explode. Boom, right? And that's a lot of work, right? That's a lot of work instead of just somebody pulling out their debit card, right? But the Shift Bitcoin debit card, which Seth Estrada has and showed me, and we talked about it and stuff like that, is pretty nice. However, the Shift Bitcoin debit card now, which allows United States cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase users to spend Bitcoin using a Visa debit card, is reportedly shutting down its operations. The development was posted on Reddit February 18th with the upload of an email purportedly from the Shift team. So hopefully it's not true, but apparently it looks like it's shutting down. Shift, which launched in November 2015, was one of a steadily increasing cohort of cryptocurrency debit cards, with multiple providers now issuing them in various countries. So according to a screenshot of an email uploaded to Twitter, or to Reddit rather, and attributed to the Shift team, the Bitcoin debit card program will be deactivated on April 11th, 2019. Shift did not state the reason for the withdrawal of its product, and cards will continue to function as normal up until the cutoff date. Shift faced skepticism from the moment of its launch, with Cointelegraph reporting at the time on how industry commentators found it difficult to divine a suitably large target market for the card. To obtain it, users have to already hold Bitcoin in order to pay the $20 issuance fee. On social media, responses similarly highlighted a likely lack of demand as fueling Coinbase's decision. The exchange continues to expand its businesses in other areas, last week unveiling a controversial feature allowing users to store the private keys to their cryptocurrency wallets in the cloud. Oh, that's, yeah, ooh, yeah, I can see why that's controversial. No. Hey, Shift, don't do that. Don't do that. Somebody's going to hack that cloud and get a whole bunch of private keys. And I know in my heart that so many people are going to store their private keys in the cloud. I just know it. Anyway, So that's just about all I have for you guys. I'm going to finish this off with a nice little juicy little cartoon meme for you guys. Satoshi, I made this. Craig, you made this? Craig Wright, by the way. Oh, Bitcoin, he's handed it. You made this? Craig, checking it out. I made this. So good. That's all I have for you guys today, though. I hope you subscribe to the channel. You got to press that subscribe button. Where is it? I don't know. It's somewhere down there. Press the subscribe button. Do it. Do it. And then like the video as well, because that helps me out a lot. It makes the video so much more popular. And my social media is in the description below as well. My Twitter, my Twitch, my Steam. Follow me on those if you enjoy those platforms. And if you don't, just don't even do it. Don't do it. Just be a rebel and be like, I ain't going to do nothing. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And as usual, I will see you guys next time.